This video is made possible by Thunderbird Perch. Subscribe for more, like, share, and comment. A former researcher from OpenAI named Leopold Aschenbrenner has made a stark prediction. This idea comes from a long and detailed document he wrote titled Situational Awareness. Many in the tech world have read this paper. Many in the political world have read this paper. Some call it a manifesto. It serves as a warning about the future and a potential roadmap for how governments might respond. It paints a picture of a world where the most advanced AI is no longer a public tool but a guarded state secret. This essay will explore the prediction in a clear and factual manner. The core of his argument, AI is improving at a pace that is hard for most people to comprehend. He suggests rapid progress will create systems so powerful they will be seen as national security risks. When that day comes, governments, particularly the United States, will move to seize control. The open internet, which has fueled AI innovation, would face a fundamental change. The decisions made in the next few years could define the next century. To understand the prediction of a 2027 lockdown, we must first understand a simple but powerful idea. Aschenbrenner calls it straight lines on a graph. This is not about complex mathematics. Think about how AI has changed in just a few short years. In 2019, a model called GPT-2 could write text, but it often felt clumsy and nonsensical. A year later, GPT-3 arrived, and it was a significant leap forward. It could write essays, answer questions, generate simple code. Then, in 2023, GPT-4 was released, demonstrating abilities that felt close to human level in many tasks. On a logarithmic scale, the progress looks like a straight line, moving steeply upward. This indicates exponential growth. Each step forward is not just a small addition, but a multiplication of power. He calls these leaps orders of magnitude. It is like a car that doubles its speed every minute. Three main factors fuel the trend: more compute, smarter algorithms, and expanding data. If the trend continues, the systems of 2025 and 2026 will make today's models look primitive. The straight line on the graph points directly to a future that governments may feel they cannot afford to leave unregulated. The concept of straight lines on a graph leads to an even more dramatic idea: an intelligence explosion. Imagine an AI system as smart as a team of the world's best AI researchers. This system could be put to work creating even better AI. Design more efficient algorithms, optimize the use of computing power, discover new scientific principles that help it learn. This would create a feedback loop. Smart AI builds smarter AI that builds even smarter AI. Progress skyrockets. The straight line curves upward, almost vertical. What might have taken humans a decade could be done in a year or a month or even a week. Capabilities would expand so fast humans couldn't keep up, let alone manage the consequences. This is what Aschenbrenner says national security planners fear. Step 1. Build an AI that does useful research and engineering. Step 2. It contributes meaningfully. Step 3. Its contribution dominates progress. Development speed stops being limited by human thought and becomes limited by compute and physical processing limits. The logic is simple. A power this great cannot be left to chance. The primary reason a government might seize control of AI is based on a simple, powerful fear. Aschenbrenner calls this the China card. The United States is in a direct and serious competition with China over technological supremacy. If an AI can transform science and defense, it cannot be allowed to fall into the hands of a strategic rival. The risk of theft or espionage becomes the single most important factor driving policy. This concern is not just theoretical, it's backed by real-world cyber attacks and intelligence operations. Leading AI labs are like treasure houses with weak locks, run like startups, not hardened facilities. A report from Anthropic noted suspected Chinese state hackers have used AI to automate cyber attacks at a speed and scale impossible for human hackers to match. The most critical asset is the model weights, massive files, often terabytes in size, containing learned knowledge. Stealing weights is like stealing next-gen fighter blueprints or a master cryptographic key. With the weights, an adversary can copy the AI, run it on their own servers, and analyze it in secret. Allowing this would be a catastrophic failure of national security. This justifies extreme measures. The China Card turns the debate from economic regulation to national survival, and therefore, the government must take control. Section 5. The Project: How an AI Lockdown Could Unfold. Based on the threat posed by the China Card, Aschenbrenner outlines a plausible scenario. He calls this the project. He predicts it could begin as early as 2027. No big declaration. Quiet but decisive executive actions and new national security directives. First, classify frontier AI models as critical national security assets, much like nuclear materials and advanced weapon systems. This single designation would change everything. Top labs would be nationalized or brought under direct control as defense contractors. R&D moves into secure facilities. Work inside SIFs, sealed rooms, no internet, no personal electronics, heavy surveillance, completely contained. The era of sharing progress ends. Powerful AI disappears from the public domain. Startups, academics, and individual developers lose the ability to download, modify, or experiment with frontier models. Public access narrows to restricted, dumbed-down interfaces. Laws and frameworks, like the NDAA and President Trump's 2025 executive order, provide scaffolding for rapid lockdown. That's the scenario Aschenbrenner lays out. If the project becomes a reality, knowledge divides into two tiers, the classified and the public. Major discoveries made by advanced AI become state secrets, placed in secure vaults as missing files, controlled by a small group. The chilling effect on open research and global collaboration would be immense. For decades, universities, public institutions, and private companies have built on shared knowledge. A lockdown would shatter this model. Researchers outside the perimeter work with inferior tools, cut off from the cutting edge. Innovation in public spheres slows as the most powerful systems serve military and intelligence first. Higher education loses access to the very tools defining the future. A handful of government-deputized corporations hold monopoly power, competition and startup dynamism wither. Access to true AI becomes a state-granted privilege. Everyday chatbots improve, but only to a point. The true frontier is hidden behind classification. Society grows unequal in access to truth and understanding. The promise to empower humanity is replaced by empowerment of the state. Aschenbrenner's prediction is not universally accepted. Many experts are skeptical of his timeline and conclusions. Predicting AGI is notoriously difficult. Progress often comes in fits and starts, with unforeseen hurdles. His 2027 forecast is a minority view. The assumption of swift, competent government action is contested. Scott Aronson notes, officials can be as clueless as anyone. Bureaucracy and infighting can derail grand plans. Critics cite conflict of interest. After being fired from OpenAI, he launched a hedge fund managing over $1.5 billion. It bets on semiconductors, power, and infrastructure, sectors that benefit from a government-led AI build-out. Fortune called his thesis self-serving. Others argue security threats don't justify abandoning openness. Transparency, global safety testing, and equitable benefits matter. While Chinese actors misuse tools, reports say operations were disrupted early with limited impact, suggesting monitoring and defense can work. Skeptics advocate balancing security and openness rather than sacrificing one for the other. In any major policy shift, ask, who benefits? A government-led AI lockdown would create clear winners and losers, financially and politically. Large corporations, existing tech giants, and defense contractors secure massive, long-term contracts and dominance. Barriers to entry rise as access to the AI itself is state-controlled. Investors anticipating this shift can gain enormously. Aschenbrenner's fund, raised at $1.5 billion, is positioned for such a future. Money flows to chips, power, and data centers. An arms race yields immense returns for early bets. Prophecies can become self-fulfilling via investment and lobbying. Politically, intelligence agencies and the military gain exclusive access, expanding surveillance, cyber, weapons design, and strategy. Democratic oversight weakens as breakthroughs occur in secret, justified by constant national threat narratives. Framing AI as a zero-sum race aligns with centralized power, making extreme restrictions easier to sell. In this scenario, national security becomes the ultimate justification for a fundamental reordering of government, industry, and the public. Leopold Aschenbrenner presents a clear, if alarming, vision of the future. He argues the straight line of AI progress is leading us toward a choice. By 2027, he predicts the technology will be too powerful to remain open, forcing a national security lock. Whether the timeline is right or not, his argument has focused minds. Who should control the most powerful tools humanity has ever created? We are in a narrow window, perhaps only a couple of years, to influence the answer. This is not a call for panic, but for deliberate engagement. The path to a full lockdown is not set in stone. Advocate strong, verifiable security without automatically classifying work. Transparency should be a core principle. Support alternative models, open source, universities, nonprofits, to build a diverse, resilient research ecosystem. A secure but open approach is possible, but it requires public support. The Missing Files is a cautionary tale about hiding profound discoveries and serving the state before the people. The choice is about the kind of society we want to live in. The conversation is happening now. The time to make our voices heard is now.